Assalamu alaikum everyone. Once again, I welcome you to my YouTube channel that is Nawab Kiazai. Nawabkiazai. As you know that we have started a series of tenses and this is the third video of tenses. So in today's video, in today's lesson, we are going to learn past continuous. So along with tenses, we have started another grammatical point that is active voice, passive voice. Active voice, passive voice is connected or you can say linked to the tenses. So we see when we are learning tenses, then why don't we learn actives and passives along with the tenses? I mean, why don't we learn or why shouldn't we learn active voice and passive voice along with the tenses? So now let's know what an active voice is and what a passive voice is. Active voices are the sentences that we normally use in our daily routines, you can say. These are called active voices. Passive voices are then used when we do not want to, or you can say we are not interested in, you can say, mentioning the name of the subject, or you can say the name of the doer. When we are not interested to mention the name of the doer, then we use passive voice. Simply, you can say when you do something, that is active voice. When something is done, that is passive voice. Understood? Here you see subject is available, subject is seen, subject is known. But when something is done, no doer, no subject, no one knows who did this. So that's why we use passive voices. Understood? For example, let's get you another example. I drink a glass of water. I drink a glass of water. It is active voice. A glass of water is drunk. This is passive voice. Now, it's up to you that you say by me, by him, by her, by it, by he, by she, by Ali, etc. Okay, that's up to you. Here you can say main purpose is the glass of water in passive voice. Okay. Here it's not necessary the subject should be mentioned, or you can say the doer should be mentioned in passive voice. Let's get you another example. The police has, or you can say the police have arrested the thief. The police have arrested. Mostly, actually, it is commonly used. The police have, but sometimes we say the police has as the department. Okay, the police have means the policemen as plural. The police has means the department only. Understood? So the police has arrested the thief. This is active voice. The police has arrested the thief. Active voice. Now, passive voice. The thief has been arrested. The thief has been arrested. Now, here your sentence is complete. Now, if you want to know, so you can automatically know that the police can arrest the thief. Okay? The police can arrest the thief. Who can arrest it? Who else can arrest it? The police. So that's why in passive voice, doer is not, you can say, necessary to be mentioned. Understood? So this was active voice and passive voice. Now let's go to the formula of active voice, that how active voice sentences are made, or you can say how active voice sentences are framed in past continuous. Okay, let's go to the formula now. Look at the formula. First of all, subject, then your helping verb, was verb, then your main verb means verb with ing, then your object. Four things are needed. For past continuous, four things are needed. Understood? Subject plus helping verb plus main verb plus object. Understood? Now let's go to the formula of passive voice. How a passive voice is framed in past continuous. Okay. Now here I said four things are needed to frame a sentence of say past continuous, but in passive voice five things are needed. Okay, one element is extra. Okay. Now you see, I'm talking about no passive voice. Subject plus helping verb, was verb plus extra word being, being, being plus main verb plus object. Once again, subject plus helping verb plus extra word being plus main verb plus object. Five things. Now here I would like to tell you one thing, that in passive voice sentences, always the main verb that is used, that should be or must be past participle. The third form of the verb. V3. Third form of the verb you can only use in passive voice sentences. You cannot use any other form. You cannot use any other form of the verb except third form of the verb. Past participle. Understood? Now here I would like to tell you the difference between active voice and passive voice. Because active voice is completely different, you can say, from passive voice. How? Because whatever comes at the beginning of an active voice, as the subject of an active voice, that subject becomes the object of passive voice. And whatever comes at the end of the active voice, that becomes the, as an object. Whatever comes at the end of the active voice is an object of the active voice, so that object becomes the subject of passive voice. Now here I would like to tell you one thing, that you see in active voice, this is the main verb. After the main verb, whatever comes, whether it is one word, two words or three words, even five words, these all five words will be considered the objects of the active voice. When these all five words are the objects of the active voice, so these all words will come at the beginning of the passive voice as the subject of the passive voice. Understood? Not only one word, two words, three words, even can be five words. Okay? Five here, no matter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words are the objects of the active voice. These all words can come at the beginning of a passive voice to become the subject of passive voice. Now let's give you an example here so that you understand very well. Now let's tell you that how these words can come as the object of an active voice. I am, or let's take the example of past continuous, because we are already we are learning the past continuous. Let's get you an example of past continuous. I was, I subject, was helping verb, washing main verb. Finished. As I said before, whatever comes after the main verb, that will be considered as the object of active voice. Whatever comes after the main verb, Main verb finished here. Now here, whatever comes, that all, or you can say those all will be considered as the objects of the active voice. So here you see, I was washing, I was washing my father's friend's car. I was washing. Now here your main verb ended. Now you see the objects. My father's friend's car. Four words. Four words. Understood? Now these all four words will become the subject of passive voice. Means they will come at the beginning. After that, a helping verb can come. Not you say among these words, or you say before these words. After these words, the helping verb can occur. Understood? Now let's read the passive voice. Passive voice. My father's friend's car was being washed by me. Understood? My father's friend's car was being washed by me. So as I said before that, the subject of the active voice becomes the object of passive voice. The object of active voice becomes the subject of passive voice. Understood? You can see, you can make a shape like this, like an X. You see, it's an X. This is the subject of active voice. This is the object of active voice. This is the subject of, you can say, passive voice. This is the object of passive voice. You see, this thing comes here, this thing comes here, and this thing comes here. Understood? This is the subject of active voice. I'm talking about active voice. This is the subject, this is the object. And this is the subject, this is the object of passive voice. Understood? So you see, this thing can come here and this thing can come here. Understood? Like this. This shape, X shape, so exactly the same. Understood? So now let's go to the examples. But here I would like to give you one thing, that for passive voice sentences, only transitive verb is needed. There are many kinds of verb, but if I tell you the most important here, that they are transitive and intransitive. Transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs are the verbs that they take direct objects with them. Understood? But intransitive verbs do not take direct objects with them, but through a preposition or via a preposition. Means without a preposition they cannot take objects with them. Understood? Transitive verbs like write, read, speak, break, teach, these all are transitive verbs. Understood? And intransitive verbs go, come, sleep, and many more like this. These are intransitive verbs. Now let's show you the difference between you can say transitive and intransitive verbs. I teach you. I is the subject, teach is the verb, you is the object. Understood? Without any preposition, because teach is transitive verb. I teach you. Now this is transitive verb without a preposition. Now let's take another example of intransitive verb. That is, I sleep at night. Now it is here as a preposition. Or you can say I sleep in the bed. I sleep on the bed. You see, in, on, it. Let's take another example of, you can say, intransitive verbs. That's I go to market. I cannot say I go market. Why? Because it is an intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs do not take objects with them directly, direct objects. They can take objects, but through a preposition. Understood? Or you can say, If I tell you come me. No, no, no. It's not you come me. It doesn't I teach you. It can be because it's a can say a transitive verb, but it cannot be that you come me. No, you come to me. You come to me. Understood? So when I say you come to me, okay, go to market. Now these are called intransitive verbs. So these intransitive verbs are not used in passive voice sentences. Why? Transitive verbs are used in passive voice sentences because transitive verbs can have direct objects. Exactly. You see, this is a transitive verb, that's why it has taken object with it, students. So when there will be an object, then that object will be the subject of passive voice. When there is no object, then what and who can be the subject of passive voice? Then you cannot make a say passive voice sentence without a subject. Subject is needed for any of sentence. And the last thing now I want to tell you that the sentence you can say has kinds. You can say it has variants like positive sentence, negative sentence, interrogative sentence, interrogative negative sentence. Understood? Now let's go to the examples. Now you see positive sentence, negative sentence, interrogative sentence, interrogative negative sentence. Now these are in pairs. You can see active voice, passive voice, active voice, passive voice, active voice, passive voice, active voice, passive voice. Understood? Now let's go to the active voice of say that a positive sentence. Now you can see these can say subjects. These subjects can take. These are actually you can say third person singular. Means singular subjects. That's why they take singular verb with them. You see was. Now students is a plural subject. Otherwise you see you, we, they. These are you can say plural subjects. That's why they take plural verb with them. Understood? Means singular subjects take singular verbs with them, plural subjects take plural subjects with them. Understood? Simply you can say when we talk about past continuous, so I, he, she, it, these are singular subjects. That's why they will take the singular verb with them was, and you, we, they, these are plural subjects. That's why they will take plural verb with them like were. Understood? I, he, she, it was, you, we, they were. Clear? Now, let's read it. Now, I have written so many subjects here. You cannot make this mistake because it's a trick to cover, say more and more place on the board. Understood? Otherwise, each subject needs a complete sentence. So that's why I have written them in, you can say, short. I will make the sentences, you will understand them very well. I was teaching students. He was teaching students. She was teaching students. It was teaching students. Now you see these subjects, okay, with each subject, I made a sentence. Now you see the object that's plural, that's why here it will be plural. You say, as I told you before that, the object of active voice becomes the subject of passive voice. As I said before, the subject of active voice becomes the object of passive voice. The object of active voice becomes the subject of passive voice. Understood? This thing can come here, and this thing can go there. Understood? From here to there, from there to here. Easy, very easy. Now let's read the passive voice. Passive voice. Students were being taught by me, by him, by her, by it, by any etc. Okay, so exactly the same. Here also you have to use one object, not all of them. As the subjects, you can see if you have written subject here I, so it will be me. If you have written he, it will be him. If you have written she, it would be, I can say, her. If you have written it would be it. Okay? So, you'll have to phrase the sentences in this way. Let's go to the negative sentence. Negative sentences. Okay? Now, first of all, take the active voice. Active voice. You, now, negative sentences, the sign of negative sentence is this, that because in between the main verb and helping verb, you'll have to put not, this verb, not, not, okay? Then your sentence automatically will become a negative sentence. Understood? Now look at these, plural subjects. You, we, they, okay? Now I will make a sentence with each. You were not speaking English. If you allow me, then I should say use the short form, because we are always we always use the short form of we mostly do not say that we were not. We say we weren't. We weren't. Understood? So, if you allow me, please. You weren't speaking English. We weren't speaking English. They weren't speaking English. Now you see, English is the object of active voice. Now this thing will become the subject of passive voice. There it is. There it is. You see? Now English is singular, subject is singular, that's why it can take a singular verb, not one like this. As I said before, active voice is completely different from passive voice. Okay, mark my words. English was not being spoken by you, by us, by they. You see, if it is you here, it can be you here. If it is we here, it can be us here. If it is they here, it can be them here. Because these are the objective cases of you, us, them. I mean, these are the objective, those are the objective cases of you, we, them. Sorry, they. Understood? So now let's go to the interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences, okay? So first of all, let's take the example of active voice. That is, now here I would like to tell you one thing, that in interrogative sentences, first of all, you'll have to put the helping verb at the beginning, then your subject, then your helping verb, then your main verb, etc. Okay, then your object, etc. Understood? Once again, I should tell you. First of all, you have to put the helping verb. You have to put the helping verb, then your subject, then your main verb, then your object. Understood? Now listen to the active voice. Was I speaking English? Was he speaking English? Was she speaking English? Was it speaking English? If you want to take another singular name also, you can use it. Was Ali speaking English? Correct? Now this English has become the subject of passive voice. Okay, this object of active voice has become the subject of passive voice. But as I said before the subject, you have to put the helping verb. Okay, in interrogative sentences. So here it is. Was English? Was I? You see, was English? Both are subjects. Okay. Was English being spoken by me, him, her, it, Ali, etc. Understood? Was English being spoken by me, him, her, it, Ali, etc. Understood? Now let's go to the interrogative negative. Interrogative negative. Interrogative negative. Now look at the active voice of interrogative negative. Sorry, here I forgot to tell you that interrogative sentences take question marks with them. Okay, these negative and positive sentences take full stops with them, while on the other hand, interrogative sentences take question marks with them. Understood? Now here I said helping verb can come at the beginning before the subject, but here along with helping verb not can come before the subject. Means helping verb, then not, then your subject. Understood? after two things, then your subject can come. But here in interrogative sentences, only one thing was needed at the beginning. That was helping verb. First of all, your helping verb, then your subject. But here, helping verb, then not, then your subject. Understood? In interrogative negative sentences. Now, let's read the example of I can say that interrogative sentence. Interrogative negative. Look at the positive. Active voice. Look at the active voice. Was not, as I said before, that we are not used to say that it was not. If you allow me, then I should say that it wasn't. Okay, wasn't I speaking English? Wasn't he speaking English? Wasn't she speaking English? Wasn't it speaking English? Wasn't Ali speaking English? Understood? Now let's go to the passive voice. Passive voice of interrogative negative. Wasn't English? You see, here it is object. It has become the subject of passive voice. Wasn't English being spoken by me, by him, by her, by it, by Ali, etc. Understood? Once again, I should read for you. Wasn't English being spoken by me, by him, by her, by it, by Ali, etc. So, you can say this was the past continuous along with active voice in passive voice. Understood? Now here I would like to tell you one thing, that in past sometimes you start an action and that action you can say continues you can say for a specific time, then it ends. That is called past continuous. Understood? Once again I should tell you, in past when an action is started, then it is continued for a specific time, then you can say it is ended, or you can say it ends. That is called past continuous. But sometimes while that action that is still continuous, the action that is continuous, another action you can say comes, another work, or you can say another event comes along with that continuous action. So if we want to, you can say, mention these both things, both events. So first of them, you can say we mention in past continuous. The second of them we mention in past simple. These you can say both sentences are linked, you can say connected. You can say, I mean, with the past continuous tense, if we connect another clause, okay, if we connect it with this can say past continuous tense, so that clause will be in past simple. Means sometimes we mention two things about past happening together, or we say one after the other, especially happening together, okay, in a parallel way. So I did not have enough can say place on the board. That's why I have written just two examples, so that I showed you that sentences in past continuous can be made like this also, not only in this way. These are just this is the common way of making sentences, common way, but sentences in can say that way also can be made, okay, in past continuous. Now let's go to the examples so that you understand them very well. Look at the first example. We were having dinner. Now it's past continuous. We were having dinner. It's past continuous. When the rain started. Now it's past simple. We were having dinner. Past continuous. When the rain started. Past simple. Understood? But sometimes you can interchange also, these sentences. I mean, this parts of the sentence. Okay. I mean, you can make them, vice versa. Means past simple can also come, at the beginning of you can say this sentence. Okay. And this part also can go there, and that part can come here also. Now look at this one. The power went off. The power went off. Now it's past simple. While I was teaching, Now it's past continuous. The power went off. This is past simple. While I was teaching, this is past continuous. So you have to remember this, that sentences like these also can be made in past continuous, or you can say about past. Understood? I hope you have understood the concept of today's lesson. If we are alive, we will meet in a new video with a new grammatical point. So till then, stay blessed.